Hi, my name is Zhanna. I am from Portland, Oregon. I'm a nurse. I work in a hospital in a critical care. I'm married. I have 4 children, and of course, I'm an artist and calligrapher. I found Wanderlust from the website from one of the teachers, and I've been so thankful for it because I love Wanderlust. I love that it gives such a variety of teaching, for classes. There's a different teachers, different artists showing how they do their pages, how they do their art journaling. I like to learn a new things, new techniques. Some of my favorite teachers are Lale Mele, Sean Petit, Kasha Avery, Kate Crane, and so many more. I think every teacher has something valuable to offer. I can find inspiration in every single lesson, and sometimes it's just it will send me to explore something more in depth and create page with that. Also, Wanderlust it gives me like a routine. There's a new lesson coming every week, and it helps me to schedule my art journaling time. And even if life gets in the way and I have to skip a month or two, I try to come back as soon as I can, catch up on the missing lessons, and do the pages, additional pages when I can. And the community that Wanderlust has is precious. It gives such a good positive vibe and positive encouragement. I mean, I like going there, seeing how other people interpret the theme. I find inspiration there. I leave comments, and of course I love getting comments. I like getting likes when I post my pages, and it just keeps me going. It's such a wonderful feeling that people find my work inspiring. So I want to keep going with Wanderlust and keep learning and keep doing art pages. This is my Wanderlust art journal that I started in January of 2020, and I finished sometime beginning of this year. And it's I used Delusions art journal, and I had to add some fabric to the spine because it was getting too small. This is my first page. I decided to attach a fabric page to the beginning, and it was a recycled theme. I like the idea of using old clothing for the pages, for art book pages, and this is that's where the main pockets with. This is the photo transfer on fabric, and this is my picture. This is a little book that I made to go in a pocket. It's just a collection of like little bits and pieces that was laying around my table, and this is the back of the page, and it's another picture of me. This is a heavenly theme, and I like the shine of pearlescent acrylic that I use for this theme. This is the page number 1. That's where I started in January of 2020. This is a study of the face that I did. I decided to keep it black and white and added some flowers later. This page I started in the beginning of 2020, but I finished in 2021. And this is kind of self-portrait, and the things in the hair kind of represents me and what my desires are. This is a collage, and then I used pencils on top of the collage to add more like a detail, more depth, just find like botanicals like leaves, and the owl is there. This is another collage in layers, and stencils, just kind of focus, just a kind of some found objects or papers. And this was I made the collage papers and cut the shapes and made the composition out of it. Of this page, I got some kind of leftovers from the winter, some botanicals and old leaves and rose, whatever was left for the rose, and I painted them using craft acrylics, and I really liked adding the shadow and making it look like it's off the page. This is another shadow one, using the collage, collage elements like ephemera and tissue paper, and adding shadows. It just makes it look 3D. And this is my chicken. She's the main attraction there. This is I think recycled theme, and I tried to find some elements that I could recycle. Some piece of cardboard, picture from the magazine, some found letters, phrases. This is a page about poems, and this is a found poems that I made up with the phrases. And the borders of this page is just a whole bunch of like collage elements, stencils, stamps, and the flowers I made using watercolor and a triangular brush, and it's just the one stroke flowers. This is a similar page, same thing. It's stencils, stamps, collage, and just I think it was about using two focal elements and kind of making them work. This is a rainbow theme. I used acrylic inks and some alcohols and then make a little kind of very interesting kind of puddles. And you can see some stencils. I added flowers and a quote later, and there's a little gold there. This is one of my favorite pages, and I think what made it interesting is adding the watercolor medium on the paper and then putting watercolors on it, because it gives that some kind of very interesting textural effect with the watercolors. And then I painted a tree over it, and just another found poem. Mother color. I used nickel as a yellow as a mother color, and I made the whole page bright. This was about composition and how to use kind of line of painting or like flowers to make it kind of place the elements close to that circle and make them kind of work together. This page was interesting because first of all, of course, I used a different collage some papers in a journal, and then used them as a palette for painting the flower, like to make like a flower study with some kind of loose florals and some pencil marks. This is about texture, and it's inks this time. It's a walnut ink with some stenciling around the edges, and I was able to do my calligraphy with the brush. It's one of the scripts that I like, and I added some decorations with the pointed pen and some flourishing. And of course there's a little envelope that I made, and some ephemera and my chicken feather. This is a theme of Art Heaven, and to me it's just a play. So this was the page about playing, use different elements, using stencils, using different things, and using quotes. This was about quote. I found a quote that was kind of interesting and funny, and I wanted to do kind of marine theme, And of course I put some fish in there, and I think adding inks made it kind of like 3D little, and that was interesting. And I used the little earrings to make up the fish hook, and just a little calligraphy there. This was another heaven theme, and it's about you know, home being a heaven, and there's like a little houses there, and so I made up a little book with some stamping, little calligraphy, and some pages there, kind of to maybe journal later, and a little nest. It's all about the home. This was I think this is a page from beginning of the 2021. It was the first page, and I really like the picture and the idea of like hands holding the fragile flower, and I added some journaling and stenciling. This page is about finger painting. So all those flowers were finger painted. And of course collage and different elements. This is a boundary theme. Of course I liked the picture, that's how it started. And I just wanted to keep up with that idea of light shining and bringing up a few elements to light. And that's why they're like kind of white. And the layers. Building up layers was really interesting. This is my marine theme. It's an ocean view, and it reminds me of Mediterranean. And of course, you know, flowers is a big part of Mediterranean. That's why I had to add some stones and like a stone arc and some flowers. And I've used acrylic gouache for this exercise. This is about dandelion and the wishes. Yeah, I've used pearlescent watercolor for this, and you can see it's shiny. And there are some I colored some tissue paper with the sparkles, but it's kind of hard to see. This is a boundaries theme, and I was inspired by the picture. So all the colors came from the picture. And I think I made it last October. It was kind of a little Halloween-y. This is a continuous line drawing. So I decided to do flowers and added some collage and gold and paints to make it work. This is my skies. So I like to paint clouds, and this is most my exercise. I mean, I know they kind of look the same, but just kind of variation, learning how to do it. And I used this is canvas paper. And I like it how like it's thick enough and sturdy, but at the same time it has that fabric feel to it. And there's a little quote that I did with the brush. This page was about stenciling and creating depth and like layers with the stencils in different colors, and just exploring stencils. This one is about exploring textures. So you can see there's some ginkgo leaves and some lace, and there is painter's tape just over, especially like here you can see it, and some gold there. So different materials, different paints. This is fable theme. So the fable was about squirrel and owl, and how a squirrel was complaining to owl that fall is such a busy time, and it's just she has so much to do, and it's just thinking about it makes her tired, and she can't get anything done. And then the wise owl says, Well, how about if you just think of one step and then focus on one thing at a time and see what you can get done. And that's what the little squirrel did. So she got a step, you know, she took the one step at a time, and she got her projects done, and she felt like she was on top of the world. So this is all about, this is the page about, you know, making kind of pictures, kind of work together. So like you can see there's the photograph, and I kind of painted more just to kind of add the scenery and make it kind of fit together. This is another fable theme, and the main character is the little bird. I did the background first, adding some napkins and collages and some paint, you know, branches, and then I painted the bird with the pencils on a different piece of paper, and then glued it together later, cut it out. This is a fable theme again, and now this is about peacock. So the quote that I really liked is, do not envy the gifts of others, and make use of your own. And I used stencils, peacock feather stencils. There's a little peacock feather napkin, and this is the picture. And I have little dots with the I think this was pearl, liquid pearls. This is a serendipity theme, and it was just finding things and developing it, and starting with the gesso, you know, collaging a few things and then covering it with gesso, and then adding colors and looking. I think it turned out pretty good. I can see like a little tree trunk here, and there's a little kind of fence, the cliff, like a different kind of bushes, and some grasses growing in the lake. It was just exploration of different textures. This was serendipity theme. Again, this is just trying everything, like collaging, colors, stencils, stamps, everything. You know, scribbles, anything goes. This was about writing a poem. So what was inspired by the walk we took in a nature area, which is not too far from our house. And so I took the picture, I think this is the picture, and I kind of painted the back of it more, and I wrote the poem. Kind of hard to see here. And this is the picture from our walk, and this is more pictures from our walk. And I made a little envelope, I put a picture there. This page I did in the beginning or like middle of December, and was about a new year, and how new year represents like closed doors. It's like symbolism for unknown, something new beginning, or some kind of mystery. So this is my symbolism, and I used a few elements just to decorate that. I enjoyed making some scribbles and doodles, and also I really like the idea of making letters, different sizes, different shapes, different colors. And in the background I used some washi tape as part of the layering. This is ephemera page, and I just used my own ephemera. I mean, there was a piece of like soap wrapper that I really liked, and feather, and like little fabric, sheer fabric, tea bag, and this is candy wrapper, another soap wrapper, and doily, and there's a picture view from my house. And this is the flowers that usually bloom in the winter, and I really like them because they add this bright red color to kind of wintry scene, and that's I always wanted to paint them. This is another page. I think it was closing of the year. It was the end of December. And again, it was just some of my thoughts on the year and just something that I thought about. This is, I think, ephemera page. So there's lots of layers, stencils, you know, paint, doodling, kind of like a little botanical doodling, and more layers and more stencils. So that's the result. This is a silhouette theme, and I added the insert of the like a little window. It kind of represents my window in a living room, and I added some lace for the kind of curtains, and this is the washi tape, and I like it's like looking out the window. This is another one of my favorite pages. It was a recycled theme, and I didn't have any fashion magazines, but I had some baby magazines saved, and probably because of this picture I really like it. So just making it look like it's you have to dig for the pages, you know, for the layers. It's like the layers of the memory to get to that picture. I really like that idea, and I got inspired by it, and it's like I found a couple of pages that I liked, and there's like a little laundry there, you know, because of time we forget the challenges of that time when the kids were small, and you know, just get nostalgic about good things. And there's a quote I found in Baby Magazine that really spoke to me. I think it was part of advertisement, but it was just the right wording. And there's some flowers that I used for decorations, just kind of like a one-stroke flowers. This page was ephemera, but it was mostly like creating with the circles and making kind of composition using circles. And I decided to use some doilies that I had collected over the years, and a little picture of the girl, and some washi tapes and napkins, and just wherever I could find. This is a boundary theme, and I actually kind of pushed the boundaries on this one. I always was intrigued how decorative painters can use one stroke, you know, make a one stroke flowers. They just use different colors, like a flat brush, and different colors on each hand, and they twist the brush certain way and move it, and they can paint the petals like in a one stroke. So that was my challenge, and I learned how to do it, and it was lots of practice. As you can see, I was able to cut the best pieces out of it, and this is my best attempt. This was about silhouette, and I wanted to make it like a scene, or like you know, forest kind of feeling, or so that's why I used that, going from the black to light, and creating some kind of interesting composition. Yeah. This is a rainbow theme. I used acrylic gouache for this one, and then I added some oils to bring the kind of texture and the details. And I think I added a little in the clouds, and here's the trees. This is another ephemera theme, just my pictures and a few things that are, you know, memorable to me. This was a fable theme, and this is my first painting of the cat, and I really enjoy painting the cat and making his eyes. Another thing that I found interesting is I put some clear gesso on a page, and the effect I got from using acrylics on a clear gesso was very interesting. It's kind of like very light, very airy kind of feeling. This was my word of the year that I did. I kind of used all of the techniques that I learned for the year and to make up this page. This is abundance theme, and I used abundance of the laces, so covering with gesso and adding a few elements and lots of inks and sprays and piping it and adding more. So it was interesting. Another abundance theme and this time it was creating collage and then making the something with the collage. This is from this year, 2022. I think it was just from January, and this is white and black gesso and a touch of gold. This is from 2020, and it's, I think it's abundance theme. And for this one, I got some kind of elements with the Sizzlix, and I glued some of them, and it gave me that textural effect. It's just very interesting. So you know, lots of layers, lots of cutouts, glued them on, and this is my baby picture. This is a page from this year, and this was about using gels and mediums to make the letters, and then you know, take the kind of wash off the color and use them as a background. This is 2020 again, and I was really intrigued by the idea. I think it was a joy theme, and I really like the mandalas. Yeah. And I don't have any stamps with mandalas, so I kind of decided to learn how to make them, and I drew my own. I copied on the tissue paper and then glued them on and decorated them. Here's a little quote about the joy. This was about gessos and texture and just creating with different materials, and I think I used the fabric with some stitches there to make it interesting. This is also about the gesso. I think it was about using colored gessos, but I didn't have it at the time, so I used a little golden paint there. It's kind of hard to see, but that was the idea. And this is a page about image transfer. So I added more elements to it to kind of make it interesting, little gel mediums and different kind of elements, and then sprays and stamps. This is a color theme from 2020, and it was about making watercolor flowers and using them as the elements of decoration, and also about tags and how we can use the tags to add kind of more layered look. And I think this is it. This is my kind of mood board, my inspiration board that I used for the last pages. And this is it, and this is the back cover. Same thing, same theme for Lala Mila. And that's it all.